Morning everyone. Happy Tuesday and thanks for joining me for the morning stretch and flow. So we're going to do a 30-minute stretch and flow class this morning, and it's all about waking up the body and just energising us for the rest of the day. So we are going to begin laying. We don't want to move into anything too quickly because it is still pretty early. So just coming down to laying on your mat, and you can either have the feet out in front of you on the mat or the knees bent, and just taking the arms either outside of your body or take them onto the belly, and we're just going to gently close off the eyes, and we're going to take 5 deep belly breaths. So we're going to breathe all the way in through the nose, all the way down to the chest, down to the belly, so we feel it all expand, and exhaling through the nose, right to the bottom of the breath. We're going to take 4 more. So take that breath all the way to the top as far as you can go. And as you exhale, let the body completely soften into the mat beneath you. 2 more breaths. After your 5th breath, just let your breathing come back to normal. And you can keep the eyes closed off if you'd like, or you can just gently open them. So we're going to move our arms out to the side of our body into a cactus position. So we want to make sure the shoulders are on the floor, and our hands are on the floor as well. We're going to lift the feet off the ground, bring the knees up towards the chest, and we're just going to let the knees fall over to the right hand side and the head to the left. We're going to stay here for 4 breaths. So really breathing into that side of the rib cage, that left hand side. On your next inhale, just bringing the knees back to the middle. And exhale over to the left hand side with the knees and the right hand side with the head. So you want to keep the hands on the shoulders down on the floor, just to feel that nice stretch in the chest. 4 breaths here. Inhale back to the middle, and exhale, just pop your feet down on the mat. So you can bring your arms back down. I'd like to just shuffle gently over to the left hand side of your mat and take your legs down onto the floor, and we're going to take the arms overhead. So keeping the torso on the left hand side of the mat, we're going to just move the arms and the upper body towards the top right hand corner. So we're opening up the left-hand side of the body here, and then we're just going to gently move the feet over to the bottom right-hand corner. So we're creating like this banana shape, and just stretching all the way down that left side. Try and keep the shoulders on the floor. 4 breaths here. Just really breathing into that left-hand side of the rib cage. And keep taking that breath down to the belly like we did at the beginning. Just really pushing that breath out through the nose on the exhale. One more breath. When you finish that exhale, we're just going to gently move the arms and the legs back to meet the body on the left hand side of the mat. And then we're going to shuffle over to the right hand side and repeat on the other side. So taking the arms up above the head and over to the top left hand corner of the mat. And then taking the feet over to the left bottom corner. So you can bend the elbows if you need to, if it helps your shoulders stay on the floor. Otherwise, try and reach up and over the head, creating that curve, opening up the right hand side of the body this time. So 4 deep belly breaths here. Breathing to the right hand side of the rib cage. So again, really pushing that exhale out through the nose. We're going to start to use our breath to energize our bodies this morning. One more breath. And after you've exhaled, just gently moving the body back to the right hand side of the mat. And you can bring the arms back down either side of the body. So make sure you're comfortable. You can shuffle back to the middle if that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to bend the knees. We're going to take a hip stretch, so to open up the outside of the glutes and the hips. So knees bent, we're going to take the right foot onto the left thigh. So just keeping it here for a moment. And we just want to keep that right foot flexed. So as if you're trying to get your toes to your shin. And we're just going to gently move that knee up and down. Just get some movement in there. We're going to start to build a stretch down the outside here. We're going to lift the left foot off the ground, and we're going to thread our hands around that left thigh. So right hand is going to go through the legs, and left hand is going to go around the outside of the thigh, and we're going to interlace those hands and come back down to the mat. So our shoulders and our head and our neck are relaxed on the floor. And we're not trying to fight against that thigh, we're just trying to gently encourage it towards us. So you should start to feel a nice stretch down the outside of that right leg. Keep breathing down to the belly. And on your next exhale, you're going to pull that leg a little bit closer towards your chest. So we're just starting to increase that stretch now. What you can also do is use your right elbow just to encourage that right knee away from you. Just adds a little bit more of a stretch and resistance in that glute and hip. And on your next exhale, we're going to encourage that leg towards our chest a little bit further. Hold it here. Keep those belly breaths going. One more breath. Just gently releasing the hands, let that left foot come back down to the floor. And we're going to switch sides. So right foot's going to come onto the floor, left foot onto the right thigh. And again, make sure that foot's flexed, so toes to shin. And we're just going to gently bob that left knee now up and down, so just loosening up the hip and the glute just before we go into the stretch. And then lifting the right leg up, we're going to take the left hand this time through the legs and the right hand round the side. So just locking the fingers there, gently encouraging that right thigh towards the chest. So shoulders, neck, head should be relaxed on the floor. On your next exhale, gently encouraging that leg a little bit closer towards the body. And again, you can take the left elbow onto the left leg and just gently encourage it away from the body. So you're just increasing that stretch. Exhale, just putting it in a little bit closer. We're not trying to fight against it, just trying to increase that stretch. And gently releasing the hands, taking the feet back down to the floor. And we're just going to gently roll over onto our front. So in your own time, just rolling over. So we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. So we're going to do our cat-cows. So our hands want to be under our shoulders, and our knees want to be under our hips, hip width apart. Tucking the toes under. And we're going to inhale, keep our arms nice and straight, drop the head, tuck the tailbone in, and push the spine up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let the chest fall, and gently lift the head up. Inhale, spine goes up. Exhale, chest towards the floor. Some movement in the spine. Try and keep those arms straight so you can feel the shoulders moving with the body. Just waking everything up. We're going to do one more. Exhale, let the chest fall. Okay, so we're back in the neutral position. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to turn to look over our right shoulder towards the feet. Inhale back to the middle, and exhale over to the left. Inhale to the middle, exhale to the right. So just getting some flexion in the spine now, gently moving side to side. And now as you look over your shoulder, we're just going to wiggle the feet into view. And over to the other side. We're going to do one more on each side. And then coming back to the middle. Pop the feet back on the floor and walk the hands back. Oh, we've got a nice squished bug I've just laid on my mat. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to stay on our knees. And we're just going to stretch the neck out, get it moving before we move into our flow. So just sitting nice and tall, relax around the neck and the shoulders. You might want to take a few shrugs. Just release anything that's there. And then coming back to a neutral position, we're going to drop the chin to chest. So we're opening up the back of the neck. And we're just going to draw a semicircle over to one shoulder. Keep the keep the chin down on the chest and over to the other side. So we're drawing like this semicircle shape with the chin. Just bring some movement into the neck. Quite often feels stiff in the morning where we've been sleeping. Remember to work with your breath. And then when you next get to your shoulder, we're going to then arc the chin up and over to the other side. So we're still keeping that semicircle shape, but we're now going up and opening up the front of the neck. Okay, now we're going to draw a full circle, and then we're going to change direction. So you might feel a few clicks and clunks. That's why we're doing it. Just to get rid of any tightness in the neck before we start moving properly. One more each way. And then bring your head back to neutral. And we're going to step to the top of the mat. So you can either bring your hands down and step, or we're just going to step to the top of the mat, feet together, and I want you to take a forward fold. So uncurl through the spine, or curl through the spine even, sorry. You can add a slight bend into the knees because it's quite a strong stretch down the back of the legs. And just make sure you're relaxing the head. So you can let the arms hang loose, or you can take hold of your elbows. And we're just going to hang here for a few breaths. Just let the lower back loosen up, the back of our legs. You can gently move side to side if that feels good for you. Remember to keep working with that breath, so we're always taking the breath down to the belly. It's going to help us loosen up everything this morning. Now, if your knees aren't bent already, I'd like you to gently bend them, and we're going to slowly uncurl so we come up to standing. And what we're going to do is we're going to move into tree pose. So I'll face you whilst I show you this so that you can see me. So we're going to start with the left leg. So you can either take it, if your balance isn't great, you can take it onto sort of around your ankle area, so you've got a little bit of stability on the floor. You can take your foot up onto your shin, or you can take it all the way up onto your thigh. Just make sure it's not on the knee. So either onto the floor, onto the shin, or onto the thigh. I'm going to keep mine on my shin this morning. I'm not feeling particularly flexible. So we're going to make sure that left knee is out, so we're opening up the hip. But we're not forcing it. It's meant to be a nice restorative pose, tree pose. And we're going to take the arms up above the head. So again, make sure your neck and your shoulders are relaxed. So keeping the fingers soft. Keep looking forward. We're going to take 5 breaths here. So really breathing in through the nose down to the belly. And a big exhale back through the nose. And again. Three. 4. Last breath, number 5. Big exhale. Bring the hands together above the head, and then we're going to bring them down just in front of our heart or our chest. Again, keep the neck relaxed and the shoulders relaxed. And we're going to take 5 more breaths. So I want you to draw that breath up as far as it will go. And when you exhale, you're going to push that breath right down into the belly. as far as you can. We've got 3 more breaths. So let that chest lift as we inhale. Two more. Last breath. Lovely. Okay, keep the hands like they are. We're going to step to the back of the mat with our left foot. So taking it off of the right leg, we're going to step it back and we're going to come into a warrior position. So our right leg is still facing forward, but our left foot, we're going to slightly turn it in at a 45-degree angle. So the toes are aiming up, same direction as the left-hand corner of your mat, the top left-hand corner. But we're really pushing that heel and the outside of that foot away from us. That's stabilizing us. If you tend to hyperextend, you can add a slight bend into the knee. That's what I like to do. But we're actually going to forward fold, so make sure your torso is facing towards the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, lift up out of the hips. Exhale, fold forward. So we're going to keep a flat spine here, or a straight spine. So we don't want to be arching over that front leg. We want to be sending the top of our head, the crown of our head, away from us. So you've still got some length down the back of the body. So you should feel a nice stretch in that front leg. Now we're going to inhale, keep the legs where they are. Inhale, come back up, lift the arms up above the head. Twist the torso. Exhale, come down into warrior 2. So your torso now should not be facing the front of the mat. It should be out to the side. Push that front knee over that front foot, and that back foot is pushing away from you. So we're opening up the hips here. So we want to roll the thighs back and open. Relax the shoulders and the arms, looking over that front hand. Now we're going to take 5 breaths, but we're going to flow with the warrior. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms back, straighten the legs, look to the ceiling. Exhale, push down a little bit lower into warrior 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more breaths. Draw that breath in nice and deep. One more. Hold. So really lunging forward here. Now we're going to windmill the hands over that front leg, and we're going to step that front foot back into a high plank position. From here, we're going to vinyasa down. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, come into upward dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, come back to downward dog. Walk through the feet as we ease into downward dog. And then we're going to take a big step towards the top of the mat and come back to our forward fold. So keep a slight bend in the knees if you need to. Let the head hang, the arms hang, where you can take hold of the elbows. Couple of breaths here. And just gently bending the knees as we unroll. And come back up to standing. So we're going to repeat on the other side. So we're going to move back to tree pose. So we're going to take the right leg this time, either onto the ankle, the shin, or the thigh. So just make sure it's not on the knee. So either above or below the knee. Keep that right leg out, so we're opening the hip. And we're going to take the arms up above the head. So again, relaxing around the neck and the shoulders. Soft fingers. 5 breaths here. Breathe it all the way down to the belly. Push it all the way out. Let's go for 2. And exhale. 3. 4. And 5. Breathing in. Good. At the end of your exhale, bringing the hands together above the head. Bring them down to your chest or in front of your heart. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. So keep the shoulders relaxed. Let's go for 2. You might feel a bit more wobbly on this side, and that's fine. You can always take your foot onto the floor. 2 more breaths. Last one. Good, and when you finish your exhale, stepping that right foot to the back of the mat, keeping the hands together, just making sure your back foot is at that 45-degree angle. And your torso is facing forward, so facing the front of the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold at the hips. Keep a nice straight spine, so drawing the crown of the head away from you. Good, now we're going to gently come up on an inhale, lift the arms up above the head, turn the torso, exhale, come down into warrior 2, so looking over that front hand, lunging forward into that front leg, inhale, straighten the legs, lifting up, look to the hands, exhale, let's go a little bit deeper, inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lunge. We're going to do one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hold warrior 2. So relax shoulders, soften fingers. Good, now I'm going to windmill the hands over that front foot. And now we're going to step this front foot back. So we're in a nice high plank position, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down, so you can drop to the knees if you need to. Good, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Come into downward dog. So we're just going to walk through downward dog for a moment. So spread those fingers nice and wide. Walk through the feet. Sending those hips up and back. We're trying to get our chest to our thighs. So from downward dog, we're going to take 10 presses before we finish. So when we press, we're looking at our thighs and we're going to inhale, drop the knees. They're not going to touch the mat, they're going to hover, and our head naturally, our gaze naturally comes to the mat in front of us. Then we exhale, push back, look to the thighs, back to downward dog. So we're going to take 10. So let's go. So inhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3. Keep those arms nice and straight. 4, 5, there. 8, 9, last one. 10, well done. Stepping to the top of the mat. Gently bending the knees. It's relaxing neck and shoulders. And then we're just going to gently uncurl, nice and slowly. Coming up to standing and just giving the arms and the legs a little shake, waking up the body. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you very much for joining me. Next Stretch and Flow will be on Friday at 6:30 p.m. So that's a nice 45-minute class. I hope to see you there. Have a lovely day, guys.